All right, so we're picking up this EG. I don't even know if it's a hatch, coupe, four-door, to be honest. I have no idea. All I got is a picture of the engine bay, and you guys are gonna see it when I see it. So really doesn't look too bad. As you guys can see, there is a little bit of Bondo cracking, but it's nothing we can't handle. I mean, hopefully it's not too bad, but in the pictures it doesn't look too bad, so we'll see. Yeah, it should be a nice simple job. It's the first engine bay I'm gonna film, so stay tuned. We'll get this thing done. So we just got here. It's a hatch. I was telling the camera, I don't know if it's a coupe or hatch or what. All I got is a picture of the bay, but it's a hatch. And this thing's sick. Alright guys, we just got here to the car wash. I like to take all the cars that I do engine bays to the car wash because I don't have water at my shop, and most of the time I receive them and they look like this. So you gotta wash it off, clean it so that way when we sand into it, we're not sanding contaminants into the paint. So we'll get this thing cleaned up. All right, we got it all pressure washed off, somewhat degreased. As you can see, there's a lot of Bondo here, and I was just pressure washing it and that chipped up. So work with what we got. I'll clean that up for him. But yeah, it's all cleaned off. Pretty much degreased for the most part. Like I said, when I get home, I'm gonna degrease it with some degreaser and wipe it and clean it before I start sanding contaminants in. But other than that, it's pretty solid. Definitely nothing we can't handle. We're gonna get it done for him. This car, not a lot of you guys know, but I was really contemplating this color for my car. So it's gonna be cool to see it next to the hatch. Love the bumpers. And guess what? It's a SI. Right hand drive with Integra leathers. Look, whoever painted it, they did an awesome job. I don't want to knock who painted it. They painted everything. So it's just a lot of Bondo in an area where it's meant to shift, and that's why there's seam sealer in spots where there's seam sealer. So we're gonna get her buttoned up. You guys will see, it's gonna be good as new. I'll check in with you guys when I get there. Guys, we just got it in the shop. Got her unloaded. Probably not gonna dig into it today just because it's Sunday and I got a few things going on. Maybe I can sneak out of the house and start tinkering on it a little bit. I'm gonna take this diamond bit and I'm gonna dig out all the cracks, take them all the way down so I can re-Bondo it, and that way it has a solid structure, so that way I'm not putting Bondo over a crack. So here's kind of what I was talking about by digging out the crack. I'm just gonna do that to all the cracks to give myself a new bond, and that way I'm not trying to patch over a previous crack and just have it happen again. I do know, and I did let the owner know that engine bays, as much as people like to shave engine bays, they do crack. So when you're using, that's why when I do my engine bays, I do use Bondo, but I use a very, 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 very little bit. Most of it's metalwork. You could see here that when they did this one, they used a ton of Bondo. I'm gonna take the time now to mark all the hairline cracks with like a black Sharpie so it stands out, because obviously with it being dirty, it's gonna hide a lot, and I don't want any surprises. I want to try to get it all in the first round, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. All right, so here I am. I got a little ahead of myself. I fucking started mixing up a little bit of Bondo to try one spot, and it ended up being most of it. So that's where I'm gonna leave off for today. I'm gonna let this dry overnight. I'll come back tomorrow, sand it, and I'll apply more as needed, and we'll just keep repeating it till there's no imperfections. And at least this is the bulk of it, so then I can start scuffing it and getting ready for paint. I sanded around the areas that had cracks just so the Bondo had something to stick to. Just like a spot around all the spots that I put Bondo, just so the Bondo sticks. But most of it's going to get sanded off anyways. I just kind of put a lot on there so I don't have to double down on it. But yeah, that's where we're going to leave off today. I guess we're making pretty quick work of it. After this is all done, I'm going to scuff the whole thing with 600. And I'm going to spot prime all the spots. And then after that, we're going to sand all the primer spots. We're going to blend it all into the panel. And then we're going to do some blending. We're going to blend all these little spots in before we paint it. And yeah. All right, day 2, and I got my little helper here. We're gonna sand out the spots that I applied some Bondo on yesterday. And then do the second round of Bondo, and hopefully after that, that's the bulk of it. Right now, we're gonna go through everything and make sure I got all the spots before I'm done with the Bondo today. We got my little helper here. Here, show him how to sand. We got my helper here. We're gonna get some stuff done today. And yeah, I'll check in with you guys when we get a little further. How's that? Is that good? Bondo dust? Your mother's gonna kill me. Alright guys, once again, I got a little ahead of myself and started breaking out the glazing putty to try to fill in some of the pinholes in some of the Bondo. For the most part, there is some areas that do need more Bondo, but I just figured honestly, there's really no steps to this. Honestly, there is steps to take, but if you're like me and you have ADD, you just kind of go wherever you want at the time. And luckily for me, this isn't really production, and this isn't what I do for a living, so it's just the way it's gonna work for now. There's some areas, like I missed a few areas, like down here. I'm gonna sand this out a little bit more, and we're gonna give this a quick skim coat of Bondo from pulling. That's like that from pulling the tranny in and out. So I'm gonna just pull that tight with some Bondo, and there's a few little areas that need some Bondo, but for the most part, we're almost there with the bodywork part. Yeah, I got glazing putty over the little imperfections that were there, and we'll let that dry, and we'll sand that out tomorrow. To wrap up the rest of the day today, I'm gonna finish my Bondo. I'm gonna finish the Bondo, and that'll be a wrap for today. And then at some point, I gotta take care of this, and I'm gonna show you guys this. I gotta take care of this. Someone had a flux core welder and some time, and that isn't it. So we can't have that looking like that. Probably gonna grind that a little bit more, try to weld it a little bit more, and probably gonna have to put some seam sealer over that. All right, so we're gonna let this set up, and we're just gonna keep sanding until it's fully, there's no imperfections in the paint job, and then hopefully we'll be scuffing the whole entire bay and shooting some paint. Hopefully sometime this week. I was so tempted to paint the race car this color. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Should I have done it? It's a fire ass color. I'm excited to see how it sprays. If it was anything like my color of my car, it sucked. So I hope not. I hope not as transparent as my car was. My car, 4 coats on the whole entire car, and even then that was stretching it thin. So I hope that's not the case here. We'll see shortly though. Alright guys, we're getting there. So what I like to do is whenever I have pinholes, I like to mark it with a Sharpie and just put a dot next to it so I know to get back to it on the next time around when I have some material mixed up. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm cutting everything down that we did and getting all that flat. The next step after one more round of putting material on, filling pinholes, is to sand the whole bay, how I kind of did in that corner. I'm going to scuff the whole bay and get it ready for some primer. Let's go. Making quick work of this. trying to make quick work of this, trying to get this thing out so I can get some more work in. So if you guys need any work in your local, hit me up. Alright, so this is where we're at. Pretty much this corner right here, plus the front of the radiator support, minus that little lip right there that I got to get with some Scotch-Brite, is scuffed up. There was a few little pinholes that I found. There's a few areas you can see right there. You can see right there where the dust is holding up. Right there, that's a heavy edge, so we got to feather that out a little bit more. But besides that, the rest of the base, pretty smooth. All this body works pretty good. Can't feel anything. The front radiator support feels good. So we're gonna get this side knocked out. The firewall, I have to hammer that thing somewhat straight. It's not going to be perfect, but that's all right because he has this grommet that's going to go over that I got to drill the holes for. So I'm going to get that somewhat straight because I don't want to put it over that. So we'll get that looking somewhat right. We'll install this. We'll get that sanded out. The rest of the firewall sanded out. And then I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because I tend to do that. So I want to focus on getting the base scuffed and all the pinholes patched. So spraying's the easy part. So let's knock this thing out. Once we get this knocked out, I'll feel a lot better. I mean, we've really made quick work of this. You know, it's every day after work that I'm out here working on this thing. So this is my full-time gig. So a week turnaround time I feel like is not bad. So I'm gonna shoot for that. Hopefully I can at least get it sprayed this weekend and delivered some point this week. That would be nice. But if I could deliver it this weekend, even better. But I'm gonna do what I can to get this thing done. I mean, there's really no rush, but I just want to knock it out. I got it here. Just want to knock it all out, get her done, and get this thing on its way. Alright guys, it's been a minute since I've picked up on this car. It's probably been a few days since the last clip, and I didn't really realize when I took this thing on Thanksgiving was this week, so kind of bit me in the ass, but and work picked up, so whatever, it is what it is. This is about as far as I got. Pretty much the whole base sanded in 220 because I'm gonna high build prime the whole thing. And then once that's all done, we're gonna sand that out, and that'll get rid of 99% of all the little imperfections, even though, I mean, look guys, I got it pretty smooth. It's pretty smooth. I mean, I just worked on this side. You can see I kind of stopped here. I'm gonna do that whole other side. Then hopefully we see some primer here soon. The goal is to at least have it primed by this weekend. Today's Friday, so if I could have it primed by tomorrow, maybe today, hopefully. But I don't want to rush anything. I want it all to come out good, so yeah. guys, we pretty much got it. We got it all masked up, but the coilovers. I used tinfoil to mask off the subframe. I gotta finish up the control arms over there in that little spot, but she's sanded smooth, and I wiped it down. I think we're gonna spray some primer today, so yeah. Finally, I can spray some primer on this damn thing. It's been a long time I've had this thing. I mean, really, hasn't been that long, less than 2 weeks, but too long for me. So I'm trying to bang this thing out this weekend. So I'm gonna get set up to spray some primer. I'm gonna put you guys on. Ready? Check this out. So I jacked the car up enough so I can sneak some tape in here, and that way I don't gotta take the suspension off, and I can just mask off the little stuffs a little easier. Like, ready, so you can see what I'm talking about. Just shove it in there far enough past the car so when I set it back down, it holds it down, and then I can just tidy it up. So now you set the car back down. Tidy that up, and it's masked off. Now I just gotta mask these nubs off. Take 2 seconds. Perfect. Alright guys, we're baking the garage. I'm gonna try to get it to 70 degrees. I spot primed all the bare metal spots with some self-etch primer to prevent rust. So we just put a light dust on all the bare spots. So that's done. I'm gonna let that flash. I gotta sand that a little bit so the primer has something to adhere to, and then we should be spraying some primer here soon. Alright, so always clean your line. Alright, let's go. This is how we're looking after the high build primer. Not too shabby. So tomorrow I have to tackle a few more imperfections, like that dent right there that you guys can see. Missed that, but that's all right. It's not too late in the process to do this. So yeah, she's honestly not bad. It looks pretty good, I will say that. Everything's nice and smooth for the most part, besides the primer texture. Primer leaves the texture, as anyone knows, especially the high build stuff. So we'll go and knock all that out when we take care of whatever little imperfections we see. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the primer process. Now we just got to let it dry, and we'll pick up tomorrow. All right, guys, here it is. It's the next day. It's gonna be hard to keep this camera stable. So it's the next day. I did sneak out last night and start sanding on it a little bit just to see how it was. And yeah, she's buttery smooth. So I'm gonna pick up on that. I'm just gonna try to sand the whole bay out. Probably set up a time lapse. This one's probably gonna be a lot of music and time lapse because I don't really know what else to show you guys. I guess I could explain a little bit better what I'm doing. I'm gonna sand the whole bay and just get it ready for base coat. I'm gonna fix all whatever little imperfections there is, and we'll get it ready for base coat. So yeah, enjoy the time lapse. Set up a tack cloth. This is to get like any little nibs that are on the panel off right before paint. Actually, I'm gonna wait on this. I'm gonna mix up base coat first. So this is a tack cloth. This is pretty much to pick up like any nibs in the panel. You do this right before painting because if there's any dust that lands on it right before you're about to put the base coat, you can get it up with this tack rag. You can use this in between coats on base coat, but when it comes to clear coat, you're really not supposed to use a tack rag because the clear coat stays stickier longer and it'll pick up the clear. You can do it. I have done it. I'm not sure if you're really supposed to, but I've done it before. But you just got to be really, really, really careful. All right, so this is where we're at. We're pretty much ready for some base coat. There is a little spot that I broke through there, but that'll be fine. That'll cover. But yeah, we're pretty much ready to spray some base on this thing, so stay tuned for that. Actually, I didn't even show you guys. Where is it? New addition. I've been spraying everything that I've done. I've sprayed with a Harbor Freight paint gun, and don't get me wrong, it's done me amazing. These little guns, what they do is incredible. I mean, look, I have a few of them laying around. They're just so cheap. I don't even clean them. I guess this could kind of be like a review in a sense of the Black Widow. I already like it so much more. Look at the swivel on this thing. It has a nice swivel. This gun already feels a lot more like precision. It feels a lot better than the $15 gun, that's for sure. But yeah, we're gonna see how it performs. I mean, it should do pretty good. Harbor Freight's pretty legit, so let's mix up some base coat. I got about 10 milliliters mixed up 1-to-1. Here's our color. Slap it on the gun and see what's gonna happen. First time ever using a flip cup. I guess we're good. I like to keep it in little squares so I can use a new square every time. Really not much should come up. It should look something like that. I mean, you guys probably can't even see it, but there's little dust nibs in there. I mean, it's gonna happen. Well, all right, let's get to the fun part. This thing sprays for you. I mean, I don't really have much to say. I'm just gonna start. All right, we're not gonna talk about what I just did. The paint was turned all the way up, so I have a run. introductory coat. It is a little light. The next coat will go a little heavier to get more coverage, but that's just so the panel meets the paint and there's no crazy weird fish eyes. Yeah, so we'll just let that flash. I gotta mix up some more paint and then we'll be on the second coat. All right, we're getting the clear mixed up. First coat done. All right, last coat of clear going on. That's it. I'm sorry to end it off like this, guys, but my phone's about to die and I'm kind of in a rush, so we're gonna end it off here for today. I'll pick up but tomorrow. We'll put our hands on it, feel it, make sure it's dry, which it should be, so we'll be all right. All right, we got her pulled outside. Check her out, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. This one took a lot longer than I wanted it to, but it was a lot of fine detail work that I didn't really include in the price, but we got it right. Hopefully the customer's happy. Alright guys, we got her on the trailer. Alright guys, we're on our way to unload this thing, drop it off to the customer. I don't know if I'm really going to put the camera in his face because I feel like it's a little weird, but maybe I can get a reaction. We'll see. Alright guys, we got her dropped off. Got her dropped off. Customer's happy. Getting paid right now, and then I'm out of here. But this one did come out really nice. That down there, I didn't show you guys, but that seam sealed and somewhat fixed. As you guys can see what was there before. What I plan on doing is coming back and bed lining it, so it's kind of, you don't see the imperfection. But yeah. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this one. Let me know what you think, how the engine bay came out. Sorry I've been slacking on videos. It's wintertime here and it's getting slow. I am gonna jump back on the race cars, so yes, that content is coming, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. Put it in the comments below. If you guys want to like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for the next one. Peace.